Shalom at Freedom Jewish Center. I hope everyone is doing well and feeling safe and healthy. This has been, of course, a very exciting and concerning time as our country, as America, is going through the election process. And of course, as I speak now, we're still in the state of the unknown as to who's going to be the next president of the United States. And as you look at the results coming in, I speak, of course, not from a political perspective, but just looking at the results coming in, the country is split, as whoever wins is going to be by really a small margin. We think about when 150 million people are voting, and it's 72 to 75 million or something in that effect. That's really an amazing thing to think about this country as being so divided and so split. And that's obviously very concerning. It's very concerning for how we go forward, and we try to unite as a people, and hopefully we'll be able to find the way. And I want to just use some inspiration from this week's Torah portion. Avraham is made aware of the reality that God is going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. And Avraham, who has no relationship to the Sodomites, and Avraham, who has no similarity of values. This Sodom was looked at as being, in the worst iteration, it was a place that was completely devoid of moral and ethics. There is a complete lack of ethical awareness. There is just an indecency and immorality that is pervasive. In the least offensive, the least problematic description of Sodom in the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot says, what was Sodom's identification? Was that they are people who are selfish. What is mine, and what is yours. That describes a Sodomite value. So either way we understand, either it's a selfishness or a deep moral bankruptcy and deeply unethical. Either way, there's a difference of values between Avraham and between the Sodomites, and nevertheless, he fights for them. He fights God, he petitions God, he protests God. He says, if, God, I'm so sorry that I'm saying this to you again and again, save the 45, save the 40. Chalila lecha, he even shouts at God and says, God forbid that you should do such a thing, to make yourself ordinary, to diminish your essence, God, to do such a thing and lighten the significance of who you are. And Avram is willing to step out on a limb and say that to the God that he's followed into the unknown, who's gone all this way, that he's willing to stand up in the face of the destruction of strangers, who that God said is a community of unethical people. Avram is willing to sacrifice and put his own relationship with God on the line. And that's when we talk about the Jewish spirit as being the children of Abraham and Sarah, is we think about that level of magnanimity, of concern for the other, of love of strangers. That's the spirit that we need to call upon ourselves right now, to remind us that we have that inside of us. It's there to care for others, even though we are so apart from the other. So I pray that we can find some of that spirit in ourselves, as I'm sure as the country is as divided as it is, so too it is in our congregations, in this congregation. And that can in no way be the primary relationship, connection, and the identification with the other. That has to be, I care for you no matter what. No matter what. And I'm willing to step out on a line to care for you and to show my care for you. So as we find out results and we figure out what's going to be the next steps in this developing saga, let's just remember Avraham and Sarah. We're the children of Avraham and Sarah. And we pray that this will help guide us in our own small way toward a sense of reconciliation, understanding, and love for one another.